Freddy Krueger! Maybe I will get in contact with him and therapise him, make it. How would you like it? Welcome back to We Watched a Movie. I'm Jay and that's Mike, and today and tonight we're talking about that new nightmare. That new shit.
You need to tone it down on the goddamn meth, Jay.
I can't help it.
Just because your side's green doesn't mean you can smoke that green.
Nice fucking model! I love this fucking movie. You know what? It was the first time and the only time since the first one that Wes Craven came back fully on into the Nightmare on Elm Street series. He was the director and the writer of this script, and he did
he did it with a fucking purpose,
yes,
too.
Dude, he did. He was like, look, you motherfuckers been fucking my shit up for a long time. I'm gonna bring you back to the light. I'm gonna bring you back to the right and the light.
What's up with him and what's up with him and the fucking need to tie his movies into the real world? He did that with this movie
because he wishes it was real,
and he did that with Scream with the stand.
Well, Scream, I don't know. Scream is its own beast. Scream. Yeah. Well, maybe one day we're gonna get to redo the Screams, but this one, man, the only way that you can make Freddy Krueger scary again, and the only way that you can make him relevant again is exactly the way that Wes Craven was able to visualize him coming back. Well, I mean, you could maybe do other ways if you're Peter fucking Jackson. You think Frodo might bring it back with the ring or something like that. But Wes Craven really took him to another level as far as Freddy Krueger goes. Basic plot or outline of this movie is that Freddy Krueger, it's meta as fuck. Okay, so Freddy Krueger exists. It's meta as fuck. Yeah, it exists in the films as Nightmare on Elm Street. And we're introduced to Heather Langenkamp as Heather Langenkamp. She's playing herself. Wes Craven is playing himself. Robert Englund is playing himself. And what you've come to find out is that the evil that is Freddy Krueger exists. He's an ancient entity that has taken form and shape of Freddy Krueger, much like Gozer. He comes back as this creature of Freddy Krueger, and Wes Craven, as Wes Craven explains it in the film, that the only way to trap the menace and the evil of Freddy Krueger or this entity is to create more films, to keep these films going. And so basically he's the real Freddy Krueger is trying to invade our world. I mean, did your mind just explode? Oh my god, I've gone cross-eyed. Yes, a little bit, but they do a good job of explaining what's going on in this movie. Well, as much as they can.
The fact that Wes Craven directed this, and it had so many Wes Craven isms in it, it felt like a Wes Craven movie, and it felt like one of Wes Craven's better movies. Because you know, everybody, mostly horror directors are mostly famous for having that dirty backlog where there's just a couple of shit boxes in there, and he's no stranger to that either. But this felt like a good, well-made Wes Craven movie, and that's where a lot of the great parts of it come from. And I know everybody loves this fucking movie, like I really do.
I just didn't like the biker fucking pants that Freddy wore. Like he's got that swamp ass.
Oh yeah, so, well, we'll get into that. But the thing about this movie is that the only reason I get to it first is because the main problem with this movie, while the whole thing doesn't fucking work to me as much as I like certain parts of it, and I love certain parts of it. Certain parts are fucking magnifico. But the fact that these movies actually exist, and the characters are themselves, it's all great and wonderful or whatever, and you think it's going to go a certain place, but when she actually goes to Wes Craven's house and he sits down and explains to her that I've been writing the script based on my dreams, and basically the only way to stop Freddy is if you're willing to play Nancy one last time. It's the stupidest fucking storyline in the history of goddamn movies. It just is. I like the movie, but the fucking backbone of the movie, the story that it's based on, is goddamn garbage juice. I just have to say it.
It's got some...
That's stupid.
It's got some whiff of garbage juice, but it's not the worst. It's not the worst.
I like the movie, but that's dumb as fuck.
I think maybe it comes off that Wes Craven's not an actor.
It succeeds in spite of its stupid-ass fucking story.
Well, I think that maybe it comes off that Wes Craven's not an actor, so when he's trying to explain this plot...
No, dude, it's just the story.
Well,
fucking Shakespeare himself could come out of his grave and read that. Mel Gibson could read that story to me, and I'd be like, that sucks,
Actually, Mel. You're fucking blasphemous. If Mel Gibson was in this movie, it would win Academy Awards. Not one person left behind. Anyhow, I'm just saying, like, look.
That's my piece. I've said
when you go from Freddy 6 Freddy's dead, and you left on a tantamount of bullshit,
Yeah.
on a hillside of turds. You know, you're basically Jeff Goldblum looking like that is one big pile of shit. Wes Craven had to do something crazy to get it back to where it needed to be, and the only way I think that he was thinking, he was like, there's no way I can go back what you've created with your piece of shit from 4 to 6 and make anything lynching that bitch in. I gotta go and make something crazy to make it work. I think that's the only way. You can't do anything.
Well,
even if you were going to go back, like, I'm going to erase this, you can't, because certain characters tied into other movies,
I don't know,
and
man.
it would be terrible.
I don't know. Do what they're doing with Halloween now. Like, fucking make your own sequel to the original movie, something like that. But this was just batshit crazy.
I think he had a good idea.
This is some Sally Jones and Raphael shit.
Well, he does tie in Halloween. Now you say. He's got Freddy 1 and Freddy 3 tied into the new one, so Nancy's still there.
It's fun at times. Like what his shitty fucking idea is really fun at times. Like when they go to the talk show and there's all those Freddys, and seeing Heather Langenkamp actually playing Langenkamp, and seeing Wes Craven on screen as Wes Craven. Like, I like it. Like, it's enjoyable to watch and it's fun, and I get it. Like it's cool. Like, watching it is entertaining and it's fun and it's cool, but dude, you cannot sit back and pick this movie apart and be like, oh, that makes fucking sense, because it doesn't. It's dumb as shit.
I like the movie a lot, though. As far
I do too.
No, as far as the fact that it's got the horror part of it that I needed, it's got the parts of Freddy that I needed, it's got the real nightmare feel to it that the other ones, the last 3, had just been like jacking off in your face and not giving you shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the stamina on those last 3 are probably 5 minutes in a bed.
And I also like why he did it, dude. The fact that he takes a fucking, like, he rears back and fucking swings at the sequels. That one scene where he's talking about, and basically it's funny as shit. Like, it's a parody in itself, because when he's talking about the other movies, he was like, well, even Freddy thought this fucking sequel sucked. So he got so pissed off at this jokey ass movie world that they created, and these sequels suck so fucking much that he decided to become a real entity and fucking kill people. Like, I mean, Wes Craven really just puts a surprise finger up the butt of all the sequels and says fuck you to them.
That's what you do.
Basically. So that's what I fucking hate, but there's a ton of cool shit in the movie. Let's talk about it.
Fred Krueger's design, I loved him in a way. I thought, especially when Robert Englund himself in the film as Robert Englund explains he's darker and more vicious. Yes, he is more dark and he's more vicious. The only thing about the redesign I hated, I like the fact that he wore the trench coat and he had the gloves, all 5.
Them pleather pants?
But them pleather pants, them fucking Police Academy, I'm a roadster pants. Like, I'm just thinking the entire time, you smell like ass and you've got so much swamp ass. Like, we didn't need leather pants. Like, it's almost like saying, I'm trying to be a badass and I
got a budget.
You just put him in regular jeans and show his ass off every 5 seconds. Like, he's trying to be a badass with those leather pants. I don't understand what's wrong with the work pants.
But the trench coat and the hat at the hospital
those are
badass.
Dude, like the part when he's in the hospital, and they do recreate like classic scenes, like dragging up that babysitter up the wall, which is throwback to Tina from the first one. And then he's like looking at the little kid, like sideways, like, like, dude, those were dark moments. It was really cool how to see that.
They also throw back to the phone at one point where it licks her face, and that actually scared me more than the original. Like, I thought that was really fucking well done.
I touched him. Ah! But the redesign of the glove. Some people hate it. Some people liked it. Some people thought it was too uber for Freddy Krueger. But, I mean, they wanted the classic claw. But this one is actually, like, again, going with the overall design of Freddy, making it more vicious. It is more vicious. I mean, you got 5 fucking knife blades now.
And bone.
Yeah, it's all good. Actually, it's a real hand.
In the beginning, the dream she had.
Again, it goes back to the first one.
When it's so mechanical and shit, it was actually scary.
Well, when the guys, in the very beginning of this movie, and you see them building the hand, again, a throwback to the first one. And Wes Craven was really trying to tie everything together and show you, like, this is full circle now. This is all full fucking circle. Yeah. I mean, it was a cool scene. It was definitely a cool scene, especially when the guy is going to go chop his hand off and make this his real fucking hand.
Yeah.
And of course, if you were thinking about Freddy Krueger, if he was going to go into the future, that's exactly what he would do. Why would you need a glove if you could just make your fucking hand the claw? So anyhow,
it was Evil Dead-ish too.
So he's also using the kid of Heather Langenkamp, Freddy Krueger.
Miko Hughes, who was actually also in Pet Sematary.
Yeah, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's kindergarten cop.
Yeah,
girls have vagina, boys
right.
have boys have penis.
Boys have penis, girls have vaginas.
Yeah, that guy, and he's also in Full House. He was lovely in Full House, but
the kid's a great actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He's got that weird thing, and Freddy Krueger is using him to get to Heather Langenkamp, to get to Nancy, to get into our world. And he talks about Rex and these, the little stuffed dinosaur to keep Freddy. Dude, there's so many things, like minute things that make this movie really unique and different, and that I like. the fact that the little boy is using his stuffed animal as a means of protecting himself and keeping Freddy at bay is cool. I mean, because again, it goes back to the Dream Warriors thing in the third one, that they have gifts, and maybe this is his gift to use his animal as some kind of protector to keep him from our rule. Dude, I mean,
and way more well done than those movies did it too. This was kind of this was kind of like home base, like it made sense a little bit more than those movies did. The kid goes to the hospital, and there's just some bad parenting going on from Heather Langenkamp's character. First off, they go in there, and these fucking doctors and these nurses are way too fucking extra. They're all they're doing too goddamn much. They're telling her, like, if that was my fucking kid, you're telling me I can't see my fucking kid? Like, they were consistently being like, no, your kid's fine, we gotta take care of it. What's wrong with you? I'm way too into your fucking business. What's going on here? Like, there were several points in this movie where if that was my kid, I'd be like, you get the fuck out of my face right now. But what I mean by bad momming is, there's one point where the kid's like, I just need Rex. I just need Rex. There's a lot of shit going on, and you better fucking stuffed animal goddamn dinosaur, Mom. Go get it for me.
I know what he means.
At first, she's like, well, we didn't bring him.
She's like, he's just over the highway.
And then the next thing, she's like, but look, we live right there. I was like, bitch, go get his fucking dinosaur.
I want to talk about her husband.
Yeah, he dies.
He dies. Yeah, he does. He dies in a pretty...
Neil 2.0?
He dies at... Yeah, it wasn't a bad death. It was pretty cool. He fell asleep at the wheel of the car because Nancy... I'm going to call her Nancy. Heather Langenkamp in this movie, a.k.a. Nancy, calls him, tells him that their son had an episode and he's come home. And he's like... And at this point, she's already found out that he's been working on the secret project of a new Nightmare movie, creating the glove, which she had a dream about.
Dude, they're so meta, dude. They show Bob Shea and Lynn Shay. It's so fucking cool.
I love Lynn Shay. Lynn Shay's amazing, and so is Bob Shea. They did great.
It's so cool that they showed like the New Line Cinema Studios and all that. That was just badass. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So he drives back and then falls asleep at the wheel of the truck, and the fucking glove comes out. Kind of nostalgic of the first time you see in the bathtub.
But dick scenes.
It slices his dick off. And also, John Saxon is back.
Oh, I love it.
And fuck yeah, John Saxon actually has a bigger part. He's playing himself as Saxon in this.
Sexy Saxon.
But he's still
That's what I call him with my friends.
He plays saxophones to fucking get girls in bed.
Y'all remember Sexy Saxon? That dude could get laid.
Because I didn't see fucking Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was like, I'm too busy making pirates and making money, so...
Lots of
actually,
wine.
In 94, he was making Nick of Time and still doing a great job.
Badass fucking underrated movie.
Nick of Time. Oh my god, it's amazing. And Heather Langenkamp was like, what if I am crazy, John? He's like, I mean, come on, Heather. I mean, you're not crazy. You're getting crazy phone calls. And
pretty fucking stupid.
You need to rest. At this point, Little Boy Blue has decided to climb up the fucking tower that looks like a penis. I don't know why he does. I'm sorry. I just think about it. He got up to the fucking tower and he's like doing this. This little fucking boy is doing this, reaching for God.
For like 37 minutes.
Yeah, and nobody sees anything except for this. And
bitch, watch your kid.
Great fucking parenting, not just on Heather Langenkamp, but the other woman that ran away with her kids. Like, oh my God, I can't. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna videotape it later, but come away from there. And then John Saxon's like, being John Saxon's like, that was incredible. So I was thinking that little.
That boy's got testosterone.
In Saxon's mind, he's probably thinking. He's gonna be Philippe Petit.
Miko escapes.
Miko, you keep on. Fuck, it's Dylan.
It's Steven Seagal above the law.
So, yeah, Dylan gets out of that goddamn hospital after he saw his babysitter eviscerated in that bitch.
He's like, fuck, nobody's paying attention.
And I want to say.
Nobody's got my back.
My teeth crawled when he was like. And he breaks that bitch's neck and he goes, ugh. I went, ow! Fuck! Because you can hear the crackles.
He drops her. He's like,
you can hear the crackles in her neck.
Threw it on the ground.
Fuck your cake. And then Dylan...
I don't need no cell phone.
So Dylan decides, I'm going to go run across the freeway and get home. And then Freddy shows up in the clouds.
My favorite
when Nancy runs after him.
My favorite scenes in the movie right there, dude. Freddy in the clouds using that 90s technology. It's way better than the 80s technology. Freddy in the clouds. Practical effects, well, sort of practical, sort of computer enhanced, but you got Freddy in the clouds, and then you also have Freddy using his gigantic fucking claw to pick him up and like veer him through traffic, and then you've got the fucking Village of the Damned goddamn Freddy people showing up. That entire scene was just
that was great.
As fuck.
I think that if I had been Dylan, I know he was a little boy and he was scared for his life, but I think I would have just been cool, like to see him in the sky, like. Hello. It would like
I'd have shit my pants and cried.
I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Do you know Thorn? So it was. Is
that the Rainbow Bridge?
It's like, do you have the passage to Asgard? So anyhow, eventually Dylan does wind up over the freeway and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. And
Mother's milk.
Heather Landekamp was actually chasing him through the freeway, and she only gets hit once by a car, and she's okay. And then the people are like, "Oh my God, are you okay? You ran out of nowhere." She's like, "Let me go!" If I'd been the guy, I was like, "Bitch, you could have paid my fucking insurance premium now."
She just ran. Dude, she escaped cops and everything.
Yeah, I know. And so she jumps the fence. She gets back home. Dylan, she's looking for him. She's screaming for him. John Saxon is there. He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's right here. But then this is when it gets really weird, and it's cool. John Saxon kind of goes into the sheriff mode again.
Starts calling her Nancy.
And she's like, "Why do you keep calling me Nancy, John?" He's like, "Because that's who you are." And during this whole thing, Freddy's coming out of the bed, and he's like doing this, like it was so cool. It was like a melty thing coming out, and he kind of rips apart the bed, and he's waiting. He's waiting. As soon as she accepts the fact that she's Nancy again, she's like, "I love you too, Daddy." And then he comes the fuck out. He's like,
gets that sexy ass rogue hair.
And by the way, we didn't mention really quick. I mean, I'm gonna put a little snippet in there. When Freddy first comes back,
I know you want to bang a chick with that rogue hair.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? So when Freddy comes out of the bed after she accepts that she's gonna play Nancy one more time because she realizes that she's got to do this.
Stupid as fuck.
She tracks the sleeping pills down to Dylan's world, and when we get down to Freddy's world, after she goes under the bed and finds, Freddy's world, I'm sure I read this somewhere that Wes Craven was going for like a Hades Greek, because there's mausoleums and colosseums that look like Greek structures.
And honestly, dude,
and like Hades, like the underworld of the Greek.
This is I love so many scenes in this movie that Wes Craven pulled together with this new Freddy, but this scene, the whole thing,
it did feel honestly rushed.
It felt as bad as when in Freddy's Dead, when she puts on the 3D glasses and the whole thing goes 3D. They go into his lair, and it's just he looks like a fucking carnival ride. Like the whole thing's stupid. And like you said, they're in Athens, Greece. There's these pillars everywhere, and dude, the movie's really close. It's close, like, because of Wes Craven and his fucking greatness. Like, it's close to really just, like, to going back to the end of the original and being really cool, because there's great scenes involved in it, but, dude, there's just, it almost gets boring. Like, she walks around this place for, like, 10 goddamn minutes and picks up pieces of a script and shit like that, and then, like, how much power does Freddy have? How much power does he not have? At certain points, he extends his arm towards the kid, or his tongue comes out, and there's badass scenes, but then there's 10 minutes in between there where it doesn't seem like Freddy can do shit. Well, it's just badly put together.
I think it goes back to the fact that, we were talking about what Wes Craven did try to do, and I don't know if the studio just didn't have the money to do it or what, but that Freddy was an ancient evil. Like, he wasn't really Freddy Krueger. What we know of as Freddy Krueger, what that was a shell of what it actually was. And there is one scene when he's burning up, you see a devil thing.
Yeah.
And Athens, Greece, or whatever it was, like, it was a throwback to the Greece kind of mythology of what Hades looked like, the underworld. And this is like his tunnel to get out of whatever he was trying to get out of to come into our world.
You do too much, dog.
No, I'm telling you, that's what he was doing.
No, not you. I'm just the movie.
I know. I think he was overextending his dick a little bit.
Just make it scary, man.
He's like, I want to fuck you for 25 minutes, but I'm only good for 15. Yeah. So I'm just going to let you know that. My Viagra runs out. But anyhow, there's some cheaply shot stuff that's going on at the very end of the movie, and it sucks because I know what he was going for. You could tell what Wes Craven really wanted to do, but the money just wasn't there to do it. But he does his best with what he does. And we had also been, throughout the whole thing, the theme was Hansel and Gretel, because they even show, him reading it about how the witch gets pushed into the oven, and he actually does get pushed in the oven. He becomes like a devil, and he gets burned alive. Cheap, yeah, because Freddy's been burned to death before, and it's not new. I mean, there's no new death scene here. And then Nancy grabs Dylan, runs out of the fucking dream world before it explodes to hell, and gets back to the real world, and then they're reading the script together.
Oh, God, the ending is so bad. But no, while they're in Hades, while they're down in Hades, like, there's two really cool scenes. What I love is when Wishmaster Freddy, which is what I call him in this, because that's what he looks like. Let's talk about that real quick. Not just his pleather pants or the trench coat badassness that he had going on. His whole makeup, it had this weird, the claw and the mask had this weird, like, peach effect to it almost, where there are certain scenes where it looks really fucking badass, but then if you get too close to look at it, kind of like Cloverfield, like from afar it looks badass, but up close you're like, there's some problems. It looks really good in moments, and then it looks like a terrible Wishmaster ripoff in other moments. But two really cool scenes when they're in Haiti. When the kid's trying to escape from him, and he first he scratches the wall, but then he decides to extend his arm.
That was cool. Yeah.
When his arm starts to extend, really fucking cool.
And then he was like, "I'm gonna eat you up."
Almost makes you wonder though, why haven't you done anything cool like that yet?
Well, he wasn't the demon devil that he is now.
It's weird. But then, and also another cool scene is the tongue thing. It's a little quirky, but when he wraps his fucking tongue around his head and then he cuts his tongue and then Freddy's got snake tongue. What I wish for watching this was, in the original movie, the ending, the best part about the ending was that it was consistently like, bam, fucking crazy scene, bam, fucking crazy scene, bam, fucking crazy scene. That's what made it so scary. In this, it was like, bam, weird, crazy tongue scene, 10 minutes of walking around this naughty jungle of love, bam, crazy scene. It was just, there was too much time between scares in this entire fucking movie. For it to be great, it was still good.
I think he wasn't going for the jump scares at this point. He was just going for the visual scares. And I mean, his arm stretching out and then pulling the little boy to him and then elongating his jaw to try to eat him. That was pretty intense.
It was dope as fuck.
That was intense.
But there was too much walking around.
There was a lot of walking around. Like I felt like we were in the fucking, Frodo Shire. It's like we're just gonna walk around and maybe we'll get there to Mount Mortal.
And then, like you said, dude, the ending.
But I want to say really quick also, there was moments of pure classic Freddy that Wes Craven even kept. Yeah. Was when, he grabs Heather Langenkamp's face, he pushes down the snakes, he's like, pick a pet for the kid, bitch. And
she sticks a snake in his eye. Does the snake bite her, or is it an electric eel? Like, what the fuck's going on?
No, but just the way that he says, pick a
it's a badass scene,
pick a pet for the kid, bitch. Like, I was like, damn, that's again a nod to what Freddy is. But yeah, after she gets out of that place with Dylan, after all those decent scares that go on, but just not really realized fully what they could have done. The end of the film is really her just like reading the script of New Nightmare to Dylan, and then the camera panning back, and that's it. So as far as Wes Craven is concerned, you've killed the evil that was Freddy Krueger, and as long as Freddy Krueger exists in films, he'll never get out again. So that in a way it was kind of maybe saying to New Line, and maybe that was an agreement with Bob Shea, that I'm not going to say that he's dead forever as long as you keep making movies, and because even Wes Craven says it in the movie, he's like, as long as you keep making the movies, the evil's contained. So maybe to Bob Shea, that was like, I'm not going to say that he's dead forever, but he's dead in my story. Wes Craven killed him off as far as like what he wanted to tell, and that was the end of it.
It plays as if like, oh, Wes Craven wrote us a note, so everything's fine now and happy. And then for some reason, she decides to read the script to her fucking kid who's just been through the fucking most traumatic shit of his life. I don't get it. It's fucking dumb to me. I hate it. But I still like the movie. Like,
I think the movie...
Nobody does Freddy like Wes Craven does Freddy.
Wes Craven...
And amidst the stupid fucking backbone that this movie has, it's still one of the best movies of the franchise.
I think the Wes Craven version of this film is the only way that it could have gone after Freddy 4, 5, and 6. Like, there's really no more... Like, you could have maybe gone some places... you could have maybe come up with something. But it's Wes Craven's baby, and he wanted to go out in this way, and I can't say that I'm against it, because I do like the meta shit. I do like what he was trying to go for. Maybe the money wasn't there, and maybe it wasn't fully realized because it was a mid-90s movie.
The money was there.
Well, I mean, it's a mid-90s movie.
It's a story that lasts.
The CGI, the technology wasn't there. Maybe what he wanted to tell.
It looked great.
But still, at the end of the day, I'm going to give this movie an 8.0. I like this movie a lot. I think that you come full circle back to what Nightmare was supposed to be. It's got that scare, it's got that graphic gore, it's got the fact that Freddy wasn't always cracking jokes every 5 seconds like was obvious in Freddy 6, even 5 and 4, he was just cracking jokes left and right. And the MTV Freddy, this goes back to what Freddy was supposed to be. And he looked different, he sounded different, he was a little bit more dark like even Robert Englund says in the movie. And still, man, I think that despite its shortcomings, Wes Craven did a good job with it, and so an 8.0 is solid to be.
I give it a strong 6.5. There's fun meta shit. They made Freddy scary again, but as a whole, it's a goddamn garbage wrapped around this awesome shit to me.
So it'd be like if you got a burrito that was really good, but it's got like a garbage wrapper.
There's some
like
great,
like you found it in a dumpster.
There's great shit inside of this burrito, but you wrapped it
Yeah.
up with someone's dirty fucking underwear. That's kind of how I
that's
feel about it.
nasty.
The whole
If
backbone
you're
of the
hungry
movie
enough, you'll eat it.
is shit. And by the way, real quick, when they're escaping Hades, when they're escaping Athens, the music and the explosion, and then when Freddy turns into the devil, and you've got this cheap ass fucking supernatural fire effect, like what was that garbage?
I think it comes back to the fact that the money. I mean, you say it was. I don't think it was there. I just don't think New Line Cinema had the money.
I saw money. I saw them use a lot of money in this fucking.
But not as much as they wanted. I think
it just fell apart for me. But again, nobody does fucking Freddy like Wes Craven does. So like he made. one of the best movies of the franchise.
That he could make.
Yeah, even though the story is batshit, I'm glad that this movie exists. I like this movie. I wish they could have just tied shit together.
I wonder why. I always wonder why they didn't get the rest of the original cast in it. You know, Johnny Depp and the girl that played Tina and the other one that played I can't remember the
maybe
boy.
that was just too much.
I mean, that would have been really cool. That would have really tied it together a lot cooler. But anyway.
Comment below with your all's thoughts on this. I know I'm gonna get called a fucking asshole a lot, but hey, I gotta be me.
Fucking asshole.
A fucking asshole. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. It gets god damn wham opinion.